First way is what I call live cold and sleep warm. What I mean by that? You know, every day today, while you're actually awake, it's like your fight. You're constantly, your organism, your nerves, your system is constantly fighting for you basically to keep you alive. It doesn't matter how small it is. You breathe in some fucking smoke. Somebody vaped 2,000 kilometers from you, and the vape got into cloud and got into your lungs. There are small things around you making you, poisoning you constantly, and which your body is fighting off. So to make your body work harder, of course you should have rest, but to make your immune system stronger, you should have cold showers, you should train, you should do some hard things, eat healthy to improve your immune system. But the night is for resting. The most basic logic is the day is for working and night is for resting. And while you're resting, you shouldn't add to your body some extra stuff to think about, which are also some other points in later in the video. The first one is while you're actually sleeping, and you need to allow your body to repair your cells, to actually rest the muscles, to rest your brain, so you can prepare you for the next day. You shouldn't add more work by making yourself sleep cold. Not in a cold room, but you yourself to be cold. Cold room is a different thing, the second point. But for now, what you should have some blanket or some clothes on yourself, basically to make yourself warm through the night, so your body doesn't need to think about your body temperature, and you can just rest. You don't need to add any extra tasks, like to 100% of your body's focus through the night to make your resting and repairing your cells. The second point is also some extra tips for this first point. If you go to the gym, you know specifically when you are training the legs through the winter, it's just harder than through the summer. Why? You shouldn't ever through the winter, like next to September, October, through the cold days, you shouldn't ever train your legs, do a leg day like bodybuilding or powerlifting, some exercises with weights in the gym. You shouldn't ever do it in a shorts. Why? Because no matter if your gym also has some air cooling or not, you shouldn't ever train in a shorts. You need to make your muscles hotter, warmer, because when you think about it, what is working out? It's using your muscles, and your muscles work. When your muscles work, they use energy, they use calories, and they use blood, they use oxygen from your lungs. So your muscles can actually work harder and increase in size, get stronger. They need more oxygen. They need more oxygen to work. And to get more oxygen, they need more blood into their cells. So that's why your blood vessels get bigger and your heart starts working more to deliver that needed nutrients and oxygen. And as you know, your body's muscles and blood vessels shrink in the cold and expand in the hot. So to make your muscles basically a free trick to make yourself stronger in your leg days or even your upper body days, just wear pants, wear a hoodie, wear something to cover. Do not work out in shorts when you're doing legs, to make your legs warmer. Also, the bonus tip, if you ride a motorcycle like me, I'm a bike rider, and you know you don't need to have expensive gear on yourself. You can always have some thick winter jacket on yourself. You can have hoodies, you can have t-shirts on your top part, and so it doesn't make you, so you're not cold, like you're not cold on your upper body from the wind. But your legs, it's a little bit more specific on that, because you probably wouldn't wear like three pants just to cover your legs. You can have some gear, but more specifically, it's the biggest part is about your feet, your ankles on your feet, and your knees. And you even maybe notice it for yourself that your knees are getting weaker, like you're 30 years older out of nowhere. You squat harder, or when you're walking, you can, like, you know, that hear or feel your knees work more. That's because of the wind on your motorcycle. So the trick I use for myself, because I'm an all-season rider, I don't ride only in the summer. I ride even in the September, July on 40 degrees outside, and also on the February when it is -1 or 2 degrees outside. What do I do? While I'm sleeping, I get a normal blanket for my whole body, and I use an extra blanket and I wrap it out. I wrap it specifically around my neck, around my knees and my feet. And you can try it for yourself, like specifically, even when your knee hurts, when you get injured or some bullshit, when you start you know that specific knee pain. When you are sleeping or when you come home, literally you get yourself some blanket and wrap it around your knees just to make them hotter. And this will, no matter what you did to your knee, it will help, because at least it brings more blood to your knees so your body can help recover it easily. So you can try this trick for yourself. When you're sleeping, you can get an extra blanket for yourself and to wrap it specifically around your knees and your feet. The second point is to have a cold shower a little before your sleep. So before you're about to sleep, like 30-20 minutes, maybe even with what I like to do before brushing my teeth, I like to have a cold shower. It doesn't need to be 10 minutes long. It can be like even 30 seconds, just to have that cold shock on your body. This specifically helps before your sleep, like it activates your nerves, your system, and magically it just out of nowhere produces more melatonin, which helps you have a better sleep. The third point is to have an open window. For myself, all through the winter, no matter how cold it is outside, I have 6 blankets. You don't need it when you're showering, when you're having cold showers, but the point is, you need to sleep in a cold room. 16 to 18 degrees Celsius is what feels like the best for most of people, but basically you should sleep in a cold room. You're going to have better sleep, and also you need constantly fresh and cold oxygen directly into your lungs so your body can sleep and recover better. So that's the tip number 3. Tip number 4, when you're actually there laying in the bed, what thoughts specifically to think to fall asleep faster? To start from the opposite side, the thoughts you shouldn't think about are like stress, what you need to do, some like to-do list thoughts, to call it like that, like what do you need to do the next day, some exam you have, some stress. You shouldn't be thinking about stress when you want to fall asleep, because you're turning on your body, your nervous system, because your caveman part of your brain thinks like, why the fuck am I thinking about stress when I need to sleep? Like, will some animal, some predator attack me? Like, did I feed my children some bullshit? You shouldn't be thinking about stress. What you should actually be thinking is imaginations or fantasies. Specifically, to use your imagination and to fantasize about something which didn't happen. You can't start thinking about like flying or fucking marrying a princess, some shit. It doesn't need to be unrealistic. It can even be realistic. Like, imagine yourself in Paris. Imagine yourself talking to some girl in your school. Imagine yourself climbing to the 6th floor of your school. It doesn't matter if you think about and imagine realistic or if you think about realistic scenarios or some fantasies. Just think about something which didn't happen. That specifically helps you fall asleep faster and easier. You can try for yourself literally this night. Do not think about before the sleep. Make a to-do list for the next day, but when you're falling asleep, do not think about the things you have to do, your work, your homework, your grades, your gym, your food. Don't think about these things. Think about some imaginations and fantasies which didn't happen yet, which can happen or don't need to happen. Just think about something which didn't happen. Fantasize and use your imagination. And the last, 5th point is, Do not eat and even drink before going to sleep. The people say you shouldn't eat like 30 to 60 minutes before you're going to sleep, but I would even suggest more. If you eat, like if you come home late from the work, at least wait for 30 minutes. If you eat something, at least wait for at least 30 minutes after you eat something, then go ahead and lay sleeping. And while you're sleeping, lay on your left side, on your left arm, on your left hip, because it positions your stomach, your body specifically, so you can digest the food faster, which checks out the food digestion mark your body has while sleeping, so that your body can focus more on regenerating your cells and to actually to rest. It's also the first point I said. Like your to-do list while you're sleeping, you shouldn't add more work to your body, so you can allocate as much as time as possible while you're sleeping, so you can actually rest and recover. You shouldn't have food digestion while you're sleeping. The perfect scenario, you don't eat for about 3 to 4 hours before going to sleep. But of course, everybody's schedules is different. Life happens. You get sudden food you didn't eat whole day, etc., etc. Wait at least 30 minutes if you eaten something, and also don't fucking wait 1.5 kilogram of fucking tomahawk steak. Eat like some eggs, some maybe pasta, something lighter, some chicken before going to sleep, so your body can digest it faster. And wait at least 30 minutes, as I said. If you eat something, wait at least 30 minutes before actually laying down and going to sleep. And also water. If you drink a lot of water, specifically before going to sleep, water is a lot faster to digest than the food. For your food it takes like a couple hours, and for water it's like 5 to 15 minutes. But still, do not drink a lot of water before going to sleep, because you probably know it for yourself. When you eat something bigger, or when you eat before going to sleep, or when you drink a lot of water, you usually, and most often, wake up actually through the night at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. When your body finishes the digestion, you wake up through the night to go ahead and you need to pee or you need to drink more water. So ideally what you should do is you should drink a bigger amount of water about 60 to 90 minutes before going to sleep. Of course, do not be overthinking this when I say 3 hours, 4 hours, 30 minutes, 17 minutes before going to sleep. Do not overthink it. Just like make it natural, make it seamless. So you don't need to put any big amount of extra work, because you're not going to do it. Make it easy for yourself, just to know it roughly about hour before going to sleep, hour and a half. Drink a bigger amount of water so you can pee it out before going to sleep, so your body doesn't need to wake up through the night to ask to get more water. While basically to say, eat and drink before going to sleep, so you don't need to wake about long before going to sleep, so you don't need to wake up through the night to go ahead into toilet to drink more water and to piss. And that was it for this video. 5 unethical ways, which maybe you heard some of them, but I think the first one you specifically didn't, specifically around your ears. Thank you, brother, for watching this video till the end. If you're interested in more content from me, subscribe to this channel and turn on the post notifications button, brother. If you're interested in my paid products, if you want to help me to improve this channel, you can go ahead and check it out, link in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye, brother.